I like to study YouTuber mistakes. I think it's for the same reason that people watch true crime. They say that some people watch it because they're trying to avoid being, a victim themselves of these, killings and things like that. They say, if I just watch enough of it, I won't make that error. I won't be in that situation. I feel that way about big YouTuber mistakes. I'm like, if I study these guys, I won't make a big, dumb decision. Whether that's going to work out for me, we'll find out. But today we're talking about Watcher. Speaking of true crime, by the way, they are a famous true crime duo, or at least started and spawned by a true crime duo. If you've never heard of this channel, you've probably heard of their predecessor, BuzzFeed Unsolved. This was the hottest stuff back in the day, back when all the, production quality was garbage tier. A true crime show came out that was really awesome. So I fell in love with these guys a long time ago. To be honest, I didn't even know they left BuzzFeed, I guess, to start this new show, Watcher, new YouTube channel. They've been really successful, 3 million subscribers. I didn't really follow them over there. I didn't really know they had moved, but they've done quite well for themselves. They get about 1 million views a video, and recently they released this video called Goodbye YouTube, which is why we're here today. Now, people are furious about this video, which essentially boils down to they are paywalling all of their content for $6 a month, and that's the only way you can see their new shows is by paying $6 a month. The shows that were previously free. And the reasons, they say that they need to be paid this is reasons that, honestly, I'm a little bit sympathetic to. They say, look, we're beholden to ads. I get it. They want to make better shows, higher production. I get it. They say, look, it's hard to make high-quality stuff. I get it. So why did it miss the mark so badly with their audience that not only are people not moving over, their Patreon, which they had a Patreon as well at the time of this video being released, asking for everyone to move to a new service. Now they're unsubscribing, so I think they're losing money all around. It's been a colossal disaster. The comments are horrific. So I think it's for a few reasons. So starting, number one, the tone of this thing is like, we love YouTube. We love you. We love you guys. We love you guys. You guys carried us here. We couldn't have done it without you. But the actual video is, we're taking all our content and taking it away from you unless you pay us. That's essentially, this is not a behind the scenes or behind a paywall. This is not support us if you want. This is, if you want to see the thing that you have supported to get us to this moment, now you have to pay. And if you don't pay, well, see you later. Now, the way they're framing all of this is that they're not just, you're not just paying for a YouTube channel. You're paying for a whole network, and they literally use the analogy of Netflix. The problem is, though, if you do like the value numbers, Netflix is a way better deal. And they're like, look, we made it affordable. It's $6 a month. Anyone can afford this. But I don't think they're taking into account that everyone has to weigh this a YouTube channel now going premium versus all the shows on Netflix or, all their other subscriber bundles, which pissed people off when they said anyone can afford it.
Steven, talk about money. Yeah, what's this price?
You can become a member of Watcher for $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it, but it also has to support the things that we do here. So that was the number that just made the most sense for the streamer.
Now, when a lot of people were talking about this, they were saying, not everyone has $6 lying around. And I think that's true, in cases of, a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck. But I even think for people who have some money laying around, they have $6 lying around. The problem is you're tiering yourself with these other platforms, and now you're forcing me as a consumer to make a decision of, am I keeping this premium subscription or you. And if you are some guys on YouTube that I liked to watch for free, that math doesn't really add up. Like, this decision was so poorly conceived. I think I know how they got to it, which is that they have a successful Patreon, which we need to talk about. So they have that, and they think, oh, if we could just get like 5 times the subscriber base, which I think they have like 6,000 patrons paying an average of like $5 to $20, you know, which is a lot. So they thought, oh, we'll just like make it's like Patreon Plus, but it's not. But it's not though. Patreon was people supporting an indie studio that gives them free stuff already. Streaming services, like you're putting yourself at a different product tier. You see what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? When you just pitch yourself as like, oh, we're a network now, we're a streamer now. It's like, okay, well, let's see what you got, streamer. What shows? What Emmy award-winning shows? What movies do you have for me? Oh, you're still producing YouTube? That's the issue. Now, I also signed up for their Patreon because I wanted to see sort of what they were promising, what they were offering there, and how people were generally taking it, because usually your Patreon is people who are more plugged in with your content, people who are kind of like hardcore fans. So you can really get a litmus test, because the YouTube comment section, all negative. Like, everyone hates this. The Patreon also hates it, but hates it even more. Turns out, people don't like supporting a YouTube channel only to be told, you have to go pay somewhere else. And oh, by the way, we're not going to give you a free subscription to our streamer, even if you've paid an annual subscription over on Patreon. So let me explain this. People have like paid to support annually on Patreon. These guys, Watcher, you can pay like, I forget what it is, for $5 a month. Like, I guess that's $60 a year. So they pay $60. Then halfway through their subscription, they get told, no more videos on YouTube. We're gonna put the videos on this streaming service now, which you can't watch unless you go also subscribe to that. And by the way, get this. And they're like, I could not believe this when I heard it. I don't think they're shutting down the Patreon. They're moving to the streamer, keeping the Patreon paywall. They're just like putting a podcast behind it. They have an $100 a month tier on the Patreon. And they're doing a streaming service. Look, I have a Patreon, okay? I'm not trying to hate. But you can't dip your hand in every pot. You have to choose. You do. You do have to choose. If you're going to do a streamer, Netflix doesn't have a Patreon account, right? What if Netflix had an $100 tier for their Patreon? And this is the problem. When you go and you call yourself a streamer now, well, okay, you're a streamer. That's just a different thing. That's what I'm saying. Framing was like so important. And I think there was the wrong person was in the room with these guys, because I don't know. Some of these guys don't seem like they could have come up with this. They seem like just like regular creatives. This sounds like a business dude, a Suits decision to pull off this, move to a streamer. And I want to point out something people haven't been talking about, which is the language they use to talk about their website. Because I think it shows the infection of like Silicon Valley bro thinking.
Think of this beta period as a soft launch, an opportunity for early adopters to sign up, help us work out the kinks, and provide feedback to make it a better experience for everybody.
Yeah, the
Do y'all hear this? Beta test, soft launch, users, feedback, experience. These are not the words of a YouTube creator. This is the words of like a founder, somebody who calls themselves a founder on Instagram. Right? This is a Silicon Valley bro. And that's the kind of thinking that gets you in trouble like this. You go from, making a few BuzzFeed unsolved videos to starting to say soft launch. I think if there's anything we can take away from this, bad soft launch, fellas. That's my feedback. Bad soft launch. Now, to be honest, I don't want to like punish these guys. I mean, I I like them. I like their content on BuzzFeed Unsolved. Now that I know they're on Watcher, well, I guess they're done making stuff on Watcher, but I would watch it there. I hope that they walk back this catastrophe of a decision, fire the guy who used the word soft launch anywhere in their presence, because that guy's not doing you any favors, and just get back to producing content. And, like, people could support you on Patreon. You don't have to. I think paywalling everything is just what, pissed everyone off, because it feels like the YouTube audience that got you here, you're then asking to now just pay you. I don't know. It just feels really weird. I guess the other thing I should also mention is the audience they cultivated. So in the comments, what I noticed was a lot of the comments were talking about, you expected an audience that you fed with Eat the Rich and What's Wrong with a Little Thievery to pay $6 a month for 4 videos. We love your creative liberty, but to be honest, you raise us better than this. So this is something that I was less aware of as somebody who didn't watch their current content. But apparently, their audience is sort of like, they talk about, down with capitalism, eat the rich.
We'll put a stop to you.
We'll get you yet.
I mean, I do want to eat the rich.
You know they taste good.
But I mean, sneakers, though.
I mean, yeah.
Speaking of sneakers, this guy's rocking the Sacai Blazer lows, and I got...
Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah, that's weird. You go eat the rich and you go check out my cool shoes. But anyway, that's like also playing a factor in here why it's such a bad move. You didn't get an audience who are like, you got an audience where you said eat the rich all the time. That's going to be a problem when you kind of pull this and you go, $5.99. What's that to all our viewers? It's not. It's tough. It's tough. And look, the one thing I do want to say is I always applaud people trying to step up the game and make better content. But there also is this idea among creators, especially YouTube creators, like more specifically, that throwing money at productions equals better experience and equals better content. Sometimes that's true, and especially when you're starting out, investing in some cameras or whatever, get some lights, learn about lights. But also, sometimes adding too much varnish and polish takes away what people enjoyed about it in the first place. In fact, funny enough, I learned that lesson in The Void. Sorry, my ears are getting sweaty from these headphones, right? I made a nice set, nice production value. Long story short, my computer crashed, hard drive died, lost all the files, made some content here, and was shocked when people were like, yeah, we just like this. Just forget about all the nice stuff. I still like to make the high production stuff, but I realized like there is a place for, just talking to the camera. I think something is lost when you put too much production value on things. I think there's a place for both types of content. But the point is, these guys were like, oh, what we really need to be is television. We just have to be television. And it's like, yeah, but maybe that's not why we liked you guys, right? At least that's how I felt.
Together around my little kitchen table in my apartment, we kind of wrote down the mission statement of just, we want to make a studio or a platform where we could make unscripted television caliber content.
Yeah, see, they say television a lot. They say it multiple times.
Everyone has different missions they're marching towards on YouTube. Ours was to make a television show. And, over time, you start to realize, like, hey, maybe television shows aren't meant for YouTube. Perhaps we should find a different place that's better suited to the content that we're making.
Yeah, that statement right there is sort of, I think, why a lot of this reaction's happening. I think he's right. There are limits to what you could make on YouTube. But also, if you cultivate an audience on YouTube accustomed to free, and then you say eat the rich, and then you paywall all your content, you can't be surprised when a lot of people are unhappy about that. Especially when the people who even are paying are being asked to double pay. These patrons are being asked to double pay. Like, that was the part that I really couldn't believe. I was like, this is actually beyond the pale. So yeah, people are, out of respect for them, I don't want to share the behind the scenes like Patreon stuff, but if But if you're behind the scenes there, the comment section is feisty. It is worse than YouTube, which is saying a lot. By the way, I don't know if I said they're offering a 40% discount to their patrons. That's like that was the big offer. Is like you can get 40% off your new subscription here. Which, I don't know. All right, well, anyway, that's basically it. Just wanted to talk about this catastrophe. I wanted to extend the olive branch to these guys. If you're watching this, I think you can make it all right. I would walk this back. I'd pretend it didn't happen. I'd delete it. I'd delete that video right now and just go, oops. No more using the word soft launch. We're going to just keep making the content everyone likes. Because I think everyone wants to see these guys succeed. But I don't think we need another streaming service from a YouTuber. Anyway, that's basically it. I'll see you guys next time.